These are the summary notes on the volume of spheres, cones, and pyramids. What is volume? Remember, the volume of a three-dimensional object is the amount of cubic units it takes to fill the object up. First, we're going to talk about spheres and cones. To find the volume of a sphere and a cone, you must first remember they are closely related to a cylinder. If you have a cylinder with the same radius and same height as your cone and sphere, you can figure out the volume of your cone and sphere by using the volume formula for the cylinder and the relationships among the cone, sphere, and cylinder. So right here we have a diagram of a cylinder, a cone, and a sphere. They all have the same height and the same radius. When they have the same height and radius, the volume of a cylinder is 3 times the volume of a cone with equal height and radius. So if you look at this cylinder, it is 3 times the volume of this cone. The volume of a cone is 1/3 the volume of a cylinder with equal height and radius. It's 1/3 as big. So the cone is smaller than the cylinder. When compared to a sphere, the volume of a cylinder is 3/2 or 1.5 times the volume of a sphere with equal height and radius. So the cylinder would be 1.5 times the volume of the sphere. That means that the volume of the sphere is 2/3 the volume of a cylinder with equal height and radius. So when they have the same height and the same radius, the sphere would be smaller than the cylinder. When looking at a cone and comparing it to a sphere, the volume of a sphere is 2 times the volume of a cone with equal height and radius. So this sphere would be 2 times the volume of the cone. The volume of the cone, therefore, is half the volume of a sphere with equal height and radius. Turn your notes to the next page. So deriving the formulas from that information, we're going to fill in the missing pieces of the formulas using the relationships between the cylinder, sphere, and cone. If a cylinder is area of the base times the height, or pi r squared times the height, that means a cone would be 1/3 pi r squared times the height, because a cone is 1/3 as big as a cylinder. And also using the information from the previous page, we know that a sphere's volume is 2/3 pi r squared times height, because a sphere is 2/3 as big as a cylinder. How do you find the height of a sphere if you are only given the value of the radius? In a sphere, if we only know the radius, that means that the height would be the diameter. The height is equal to twice the radius, so height is 2 times r, or 2r. Often, the volume formula for a sphere is given as volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed, which is not the same as the formula that we have above, 2/3 pi r squared times height. Are these two formulas the same? Why or why not? These formulas are actually the same because height is the same as 2 times r. So we actually substitute into the formula 2/3 pi r squared times height, and instead of height we plug in 2 times r, and we solve, we end up getting 4/3 pi r cubed. So they are the same. Either formula will work to give you the same answer. Turn your notes to the next page. Here's an example of how to find the volume of the given cone and sphere. So we're starting with this cone. The height of the cone is 16 and the radius is 11. I want you to use the formula that we found for the volume of a cone in order to find the volume of this cone. Pause the video and then press play to check your answer. Using the formula 1/3 pi r squared times height, if we plug in 11 for the radius, where the r is, and we plug in 16 for the height, where the h is, and then we solve, we end up getting this answer for our formula. The volume is 2026.346, repeating, cubic centimeters. Now for the sphere. If the radius of this sphere is 18 millimeters, what is the volume? Pause the video and then press play to check your answer. No matter which formula you use, 2/3 pi r squared times height or 4/3 pi r cubed, if you plug in 18 for the radius, you end up getting the same answer, 24,416.64 cubic millimeters. Now we're going to talk about pyramids. To find the volume of a pyramid, you must first remember a pyramid is closely related to a prism with the same base and height. If you have a pyramid with the same base and same height as a prism, you can figure out the volume of your pyramid by using the volume formula for the prism and the relationship among the prism and the pyramid. So if we're comparing a prism to a pyramid, the volume of a prism is 3 times the volume of a pyramid with an equal base and height. That means that the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 the volume of a prism with an equal base and height. So now we're going to fill in the missing pieces of the formula using the relationships between the cube and the pyramid. We know that the volume of any prism is the area of the base times the height. So if we know that a pyramid is 1/3 as big as a prism, then the formula for volume would be 1/3 the area of the base times the height. Remember, when we're looking at a pyramid, the height of a pyramid goes all the way from the very top down to the center of the base. This height right here is the height of the triangle, not the height of the entire pyramid. The side length of the base will be along the bottom. Make sure to use caution. The height of the pyramid and the height of the triangle are not the same. Do not use the height of the triangle when trying to calculate the volume of the pyramid. That height will only be used for the surface area of the pyramid, or the area of each individual triangle. Using the formula that we just talked about, I want you to find the volume of the given pyramid. So this pyramid has a height of 12 centimeters with side lengths along the base of 7 centimeters. Use the formula and press pause on the video and press play to check your answer. If the formula for volume is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height, that means that in order to find the area of this base, or the area of the square, we would take 7 squared and then plug in 12 for the height. 7 squared is equal to 49, and when we multiply our answer together, we get a volume of 196 cubic centimeters.